Actually, you know what? You're talking about young people. I was blown away by that story of the transition year pupils at St. Colman's College in Middleton and Christ the King in the City. They've come together. It's an own English story from the Examiner, and they're cleaning up, it's the equivalent of about 400 volunteer hours. And if you were paying for it, apparently, and it was done on a commercial basis, the cleanup would have cost over 12 grand, but they're doing it for free, and it's a story that makes the Examiner this morning. One of the organisers behind that is a teacher at St. Colman's, Proncius Otuma. He joins me by phone. Proncius, good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
What a fabulous idea. You said you do it to rattle the cages of all of the people in their nice offices and those in power to make change. That's fighting talk, man.
It kind of is, all right, isn't it? It is a little bit. Look, there is, I suppose. Look, ultimately, we're doing this since 2015 under the guise of Clean Coast Ballynamona. We're cleaning almost 80 kilometres of Cork coastline, which is and the beaches on it, which is almost 3% of the total Irish coastline. We do it for free. It kind of started off as something, and now it snowballed. Yesterday's event is probably more of us joining the dots, and I suppose having the amazing students from TY in my own school and Christ the King. I was at a meeting where I met the principal from Christ King, and we just were chatting, and she said, Miss Long there said, God, we'd love to join you someday. So that's where it kind of grew out of, And
it's not necessarily rubbish that's been just thrown over the walls or anything. You're saying a lot of what they're collecting is tidal, is it?
Yeah, I think the majority of it is tidal, and I think if anybody goes to Clean Coast Ballynamona Twitter feed, we haven't got to the Instagram yet. We're trying to keep doing the day jobs as well, and you'll see some of the stuff that we were picking up. I mean, I think this is a real classic example of when you throw something away, it doesn't go away. So what we had is that we found a 7-Up can, which is pre-1989. It has the old pull ring tab on it.
Unreal.
It changed to the push ring tab in 1989. So whilst we
God knows where it came from. Over 30 years ago. Nearly 35 years ago.
There was 2 Fanta cans, again, pre-1989. There was a Stag beer can, pre-1989, pre-1990. There was a few crisp packets. One of the prices on the crisp packets was 17p. Long time
How much
since
is
you or
a
I.
bag of crisps is closer to €1 now. 17p is a long time ago.
Yeah, and there was another packet that we found which was 6p, and I definitely was in short pants when it was 6p.
6p crisp packet?
Yeah, Tato crisp packet with 6p is the price on it.
They just don't decompose, no?
Well, everything breaks down, Neil, but what I think the problem with plastic is that it breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces, and that's the problem I think that we have. When you look at Cork Harbour is an SPA, which is a special protection area, and it's a special protection area for 22 species of birds. All bar 3 of those 22 species are either red or amber listed. We talk about, on Monday, there's a big wake-up call from the IPBES with their latest report that, we're going to lose, hundreds of thousands of species if we don't cop ourselves on. I mean, we see much good work going on by lots of tidy towns in Cork, by lots of clean coast groups in Cork, community councils, and it's just when we talk about rattling the cages, it's kind of akin to a shopkeeper making a living in his shop or her shop, but not sweeping outside the front door.
I know, and listen, it's commendable what they're doing, but are they also aware themselves that their generation are huge contributors to climate issues and plastics with their purchasing power and what they're buying, the disposable world that many of them live in? Are they aware of that themselves?
Who now? The shopkeepers or the students?
No, students, young people.
I think students are very in tune to it. But look, it's not linear. It's this education thing that we have to do. Everyone learns it at a different rate, and kids are not silly. And kids, I think, when we go into the supermarket and we see, an orange. do we buy the orange that's loose, or do we buy it in the net?
Yeah.
Or worse again, do we buy the pre-prepared peeled orange in a plastic container with no skin on?
that. Yeah. So, and in fairness to them, they may use products that have issues with regards to plastic, but they also recycle better than older generations.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the evidence is there that primary kids are really good in pester power in getting their parents to make those changes. I think part of yesterday as well, what we had is that we had Simon Lyons, a Cork City engineer, on site as well, and we had a pumping station open where outside the castle, where we were, I suppose, where they got to see into the deeper, darker part of the
that must have been
the drainage system. So basically, it was about fats, oils, greases. It's also about
Did they see a fat ball, or did they see gathered grease?
I look. It was fairly mank inside in it when you're looking into a sewer.
That just means it's working, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah. But look, ultimately, it's about it's the 3 P's that you can only flush down the toilet. And I apologise to your listeners who are eating their breakfast now, but it's pee, poo, and paper. The only 3 things that should be flushed down the toilet. Put a bin into your bathroom, and everything else goes into that.
I got you. Unfortunately, they found way too many hypodermic needles, didn't they?
We did, yeah. The total count syringes was 11 syringes and 5 had hypodermic needles. Dave Ludgate, aka Sabouti, who's part of the Blackrock Clean Up group, joined us as well for the day, and we had a sharps box specifically for syringes, and the kids were great because, when I was doing the health and safety talk at the start, I said, this is the most important health and safety talk I have given this year, or even in the last few years, because I said the risk is there that we may find the needles, and the kids were brilliant. We had procedures in place, and they were adhered to at all times.
Okay, listen, out of time for now, but let's big up the young people, because they make a big difference when they take on projects like this. Congratulations. Yes, absolutely. Look after yourself, Brunchiers. Thanks for taking the call. Well done to St. Colman's College in Middleton and Christ the King. Well done. Back after 11 with Tesco. But right now, to the newsroom we go.